Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. The studio lights were already warm when Kelly Ripa stepped onto the live stage that morning, but there was a chill in her smile that no amount of makeup could hide. The audience clapped, as they always did, bright, loyal, expecting laughter before coffee. But something in the rhythm felt off, as if the room itself sensed a storm gathering just beyond the glass walls. Kelly adjusted the stack of cue cards with hands that trembled almost imperceptibly. For years she had been the embodiment of lightness, quick wit, sparkling eyes, a laugh that felt like it could pull anyone back from the edge of a hard day. Today her shoulders were stiff, her breath came shallow. When she glanced toward the camera, there was a flicker of fear she couldn't quite push away. Backstage, a producer whispered, "You okay?" Kelly nodded automatically. "Yeah, let's go." The theme music swelled, the cameras rolled, and then it happened. Halfway through the opening banter, Kelly's phone buzzed on the desk. She never checked it during the show, never, but something compelled her to glance down. Just for a second. The color drained from her face so quickly that even the audience noticed. A hush rippled through the studio. "Kelly?" her co-host murmured, leaning closer. She swallowed, eyes glassy. Her voice cracked. She stopped, pressed a hand to her chest, and tried again. "I'm so sorry. We've just gotten some news." The director motioned frantically from behind the cameras, but Kelly shook her head. There was no stopping this now. "Mark," she whispered. The name alone carried decades of shared life, late-night rehearsals, early morning school runs, whispered jokes under covers, the quiet understanding of two people who had grown up together, on screen and off. "Mark has been rushed into care." The words landed like broken glass. The audience gasped. Somewhere in the back row, someone began to cry. Kelly pressed her fingers to her lips as tears finally spilled. "The doctors called with an urgent update," she continued, her voice shaking but steady enough to carry the truth. "I don't have all the details yet. I need everyone to keep him in your thoughts." The cameras lingered, unsure whether to cut away. This wasn't scripted. This was raw, unguarded humanity breaking through the polished veneer of daytime television. Just hours earlier, Mark Consuelos had woken before dawn, the way he always did when his mind refused to settle. The house was quiet, too quiet. He padded into the kitchen, poured himself coffee, and stared out the window at the pale glow of the city beginning to stir. For weeks he had felt off, fatigue that clung to his bones, a pressure behind his eyes. He told himself it was stress, long days, life. He didn't want to worry Kelly. When the dizziness hit, it came without warning. One moment he was standing at the counter, the next the room tilted violently, as if the floor had been yanked sideways. His mug shattered on the tile. Pain bloomed sharp and fast. "Kelly," he called, his voice barely more than a breath. By the time the paramedics arrived, the house was chaos, sirens slicing the morning air, neighbors peeking through curtains, Kelly gripping Mark's hand as he was loaded onto a stretcher. "I'm here," she kept saying. "I'm right here." Mark tried to smile. "Always," he whispered back. At the hospital, time became elastic. Minutes stretched into hours. Doctors spoke in careful tones, choosing words like stepping stones across deep water. Tests were ordered, monitors beeped, doors swung open and shut with a finality that made Kelly's heart race every time. "He's stable," one doctor said at last, "but we need to run more scans. There's something we need to understand." Kelly nodded, though her head felt full of fog. Stable was good. Stable meant breathing. Stable meant hope. She texted the show. "I don't know if I can come in." The reply came back quickly. "Do what you need. We'll support you." But Kelly also knew her audience. She knew the connection, the way millions of viewers felt like family, the way they had grown up alongside her, laughed with her, cried with her. She didn't want rumors. She didn't want silence to fill the space with fear. So she went on air. And then
Social media
she broke.
exploded within minutes. Clips of Kelly's tearful announcement spread like wildfire. Fans flooded timelines with messages of love, prayers, and disbelief. "Stay strong, Kelly. We're with you. Mark, you've got this." In the hospital room, Mark drifted in and out of sleep, unaware of the wave of concern rolling across the world. When he finally opened his eyes, Kelly was there, curled awkwardly in a chair beside his bed, eyes red-rimmed but focused entirely on him. "Hey," he murmured. She startled awake, then laughed softly through tears. "Hey, yourself." "Did I scare you?" he asked. She squeezed his hand. "You scared me more than you'll ever know." A doctor entered quietly, clipboard in hand. "We have some answers," she said, "and a plan." Kelly's heart hammered as the doctor explained, medical terms layered with cautious optimism. There would be treatment, there would be rest, there would be time. Not an ending, a beginning. Kelly exhaled for what felt like the first time all day. The next morning, Kelly returned to the studio. The applause was thunderous, not celebratory, but supportive, a collective embrace. She stood there, blinking back tears, and let it wash over her. "Thank you," she said simply, "from the bottom of my heart." She shared what she could, how Mark was receiving care, how the doctors were hopeful, how gratitude had become the loudest emotion in their home. She didn't pretend to be okay. She didn't need to. "Life doesn't give you a warning label," she said softly. "It just happens, and when it does, you hold on to the people you love, and you don't let go." Somewhere in a quiet hospital room, Mark watched the broadcast on a muted television. He smiled, weakly but sincerely. "That's my girl," he thought. In the days that followed, recovery became a series of small victories, a steadier heartbeat, a stronger step down the hallway, laughter returning in fragile pieces. Kelly brought photos from home, notes from fans, the kids' terrible jokes written on neon post-its. One afternoon, as sunlight slanted through the blinds, Mark reached for Kelly's hand. "You know, we've played a lot of dramatic scenes over the years," she smiled. "A few. But this," he squeezed her fingers, "this is the real thing." Kelly nodded, tears slipping free again, but this time they were softer. "And we're still standing." Outside the hospital, life went on. Inside, it slowed, just enough for gratitude to settle in, deep and permanent. Weeks later, when Mark finally walked out of the hospital under his own power, cameras waited, but the couple waved them away. This moment was theirs, just theirs. Kelly leaned in to Mark, resting her head on his shoulder. "Ready to go home?" He kissed her temple. "As long as you're there." They stepped into the sunlight together, not untouched by fear, but stronger for having faced it. And somewhere, unseen but deeply felt, millions of hearts exhaled in relief with them. Because sometimes the most powerful stories aren't the ones written for television. They're the ones that remind us how fragile and how fiercely beautiful life really is. Heart,
At the hospital,
red heart.
Time became elastic. Minutes stretched into hours. Doctors spoke in careful tones, choosing words like stepping stones across deep water. Tests were ordered, monitors beeped, doors swung open and shut with a finality that made Kelly's heart race every time. "He's stable," one doctor said at last, "but we need to run more scans. There's something we need to understand." Kelly nodded, though her head felt full of fog. Stable was good. Stable meant breathing. Stable meant hope. She texted the show, "I don't know if I can come in." The reply came back quickly, "Do what you need. We'll support you." But Kelly also knew her audience. She knew the connection, the way millions of viewers felt like family, the way they had grown up alongside her, laughed with her, cried with her. She didn't want rumors, she didn't want silence to fill the space with fear. So she went on air, and then she broke.